Thank you for joining us today. We're going to talk a little bit about planning your walk, but first we're going to start with sponsorship. So welcome to our walk. Natalie's going to cover sponsorships, and then I'm going to talk about planning. Okay.
Hi, everyone. I just want to briefly kind of go over sponsorships, more specifically for your local area. And while you're focusing, especially now because we're 6 to 8 weeks out for a lot of our walks, especially for those who are closer to the beginning of the month of May, where, 6 weeks out. And this is the prime time to ask. You definitely want to start asking for a sponsorship at the beginning of the month, because if it's a local sponsorship like a mom and pop coffee shop, church, their funding, if they do local sponsorship and or funding or even in-kind giving, is typically they have the funds at the beginning of the month. As you get towards the middle and the end, there's a little less likely that they'll have the funds until another 30 days. So reach out to them now. If your walk is in the beginning of the month of May, if it's more to the end, then you want to still start reaching out now, because it may say come back to us at the beginning of April, so you want to just be ready to go, or they at least are aware that you would be coming back to them. In regards to some places to recruit for local sponsorship, think about your churches, your mom and pop stores, coffee shops. Think about places that are on your walk route or around your event. But they may be able to give free samples out that day at your event. They may be able to provide coupons for your attendees, or even discounts for the day, where they might be able to do a dime to donate, or 15% of the sales come to begin or to your walk for that day. You might want to also think about where you frequently shop. I know for me there might be some small boutiques or smaller shops that you can look at to see if they would be willing to give, especially if you're a customer that comes back, once, twice in a month. Maybe they'll consider doing a donation jar. They'll let you put up signage for the event with like your postcards and or your sign that, that announcing the walk. Maybe they'll let you put it in the window, or even if they have a mailing list, they may be able to send the flyer out to their mailing list or their customers, asking them to support you. Some other examples or even ideas for local sponsorship, ask if they would start a team. Maybe it's their salespeople or their employees that will start a corporate team, a small corporate team or a hybrid of a corporate team for your event. Or they may just, register their employees to come and support and be a part of the overall event for the day. Or they may even provide you with volunteers, have their employees volunteer the day of your event to help you with your registration, your T-shirts, distribution, things of that nature. And ask if you could set up tables at their place so that they can, you can register people on site, get donations, things of that nature. So I think I've covered. So let me just recap some of the things. When to ask, time to ask. First of the month, 6 or 8 weeks out. So now is a good time to start thinking about that. And when you ask, don't just think about money, but the in-kind donations are just as good as the money. So think about, the food, manpower, things of that nature.
Okay. So now we're going to switch over and talk about planning and where you should be now in your event. And so logistically, you should have your location. You should have your location sorted out. Oh, see, we got a question from ours. Let's pause. Doesn't seem to be responding. Okay. Marge, can you try entering your question in chat? It doesn't seem to be responding to our question. Okay. Okay. Oh, wait, let's try this. I did not ask a question. Okay. Well, and GoToWebinar is leading us down the garden path. Thank you. We'll move on. Okay. So about logistics. Right now we're in March, and the walks are, as Natalie said, 6 to 8 weeks away. So you have your location squared away, but a few things to think about still are, do you need a permit? And sometimes Beacon can help with that. If you're faced with a fee, we can at least consider it. So don't cross it off your list before you check with us. And insurance, which we will provide, and it usually has a 24-hour turnaround, sometimes a little longer. But if you need insurance, or if you haven't thought about whether you need insurance, check with your location, because we can provide that for you. And even though this is about logistics, I've included this bullet point. We just don't want you to forget that recruiting and fundraising is going on now and hopefully amping up now, and we will continue straight on through May and after. So, but for now, please make sure that you have your locations squared away and you're beginning to think about walk day itself. So in April, we'll provide you, it'll be walk day planning, and we'll provide you with the planning guide that we provided you last year, and it'll be updated and revised, so there'll be more good stuff in it. But we'll be sending it out in late March or very early April. That'll help you put your walk day together. Your T-shirts and your walk day kits will arrive in April as well. They're all scheduled to arrive before the first walk in May begins. And from last year, that was your sign, so you could direct people to where you needed them to be. Your return envelope, donation forms, registration forms, back signs, another copy of your guidelines just so they're with you, and then some brochures and newsletters from Beacon. This is also the time to think about recruiting volunteers, and there's lots of places they can come from. You can try Volunteer Match. Beacon can help you with that as well. Schools, colleges, a local volunteer center might help you. A lot of people like to volunteer for a day. They're looking, sometimes parents and children are looking for something to do, or students have hours that they need to fulfill. If you're part of a support group, or you can go to your committee, but just start thinking about what you'll need people to do on the actual day and start recruiting people for that. So that, again, will be all part of your walk day planning kit. And again, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, but really the recruitment and the fundraising want as many people and and to raise as much as we can, and that really will never stop until June. So we'll go right through Walk Month and continue on afterwards. Okay, so in May, the Walk Day arrives, and it's different for everybody. We know this year we're not sticking to the first weekend in May as we've done in the past, because the whole month is National Bladder Cancer Awareness Month. So this is a big day, and in your case, Marge, I know you have 2 big days. Excuse me. We're going to close the website to registration, but not donation, on the Friday before your walk. So they'll be open right up to the end. Of course, we want you to continue fundraising, and even if people didn't get to attend your walk, they'll still be able to donate to your website. So keep that in mind. And then as part of your walk day preparations and its training, we will provide instructions for how to prepare and send in your donations. And we would like them in the mail 3 business days after your walk. The sooner we get that wrapped up, the better, really. So we will know the effect of the Amp Up events. And then after everything has settled down, we'll be seeking you out for feedback to see what we can do differently next year. And we have made some changes this year, so we'll be interested in hearing from you what you think about them and what we should do going forward. So that's sort of where you should be in the next few months leading up to your walk. And let's just pause and see if you have any questions. Well, let's see. What is the deadline for pre-registration for a T-shirt, and will we get extra T-shirts? We're going to, we're going to make some guesses because we have to place in the order before registration closes. So we're going to have to make some estimates based on what you did last year. So that's how we're going to figure that out. And there should be everyone who registered. We tend to overestimate rather than underestimate when it comes to T-shirts. But it sounds like there's not a one-to-one relationship. So I'll be placing the order in April, and there will still be a lot of people who register after that day. But we know how you did last year, and we can track how you're doing this year compared to last year. So that's how we figure that out.
In March, I would suggest you have extras from your first date, moving to your second date, carry them over if it looks like, you know, you need more, and then we can make adjustments because there's some wiggle little timing, but we could, you know, finagle maybe getting some extras if you need it for the second event in Central PA.
Okay. And any other questions? I wish we could talk to you in person, but any other thoughts? Looks like not. Okay. So thank you for joining us today. We're going to post this online, and it'll be available to all organizers going forward. So thanks for attending, Mark.